What does the Bible say about marriage? Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother, and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. He who finds a wife finds a good thing, and obtains favor from the Lord. Likewise, husbands, live with your wives in an understanding way, showing honor to the woman as the weaker vessel, since they are heir with you to the grace of life, so that your prayers may not be hindered. A wife is bound to her husband as long as he lives, but if her husband dies, she is free to marry to whom she wishes, only in the Lord. And the rib that the Lord had taken from the man, he made into a woman, and brought her to the man. Then the man said, This at last is the bone of my bone, and the flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother, and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And the two shall become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let no man separate. And in the house the disciples asked him again about this matter. And he said to them, Whoever divorces his wife and marries another commits adultery after her. And if she divorces her husband and marries another, she commits adultery. However, let each one of you love his wife as himself, and let the wife see that she respects her husband. Above all, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. Wives, submit to your husband as is fitting in the Lord. Husbands, love your wives, and do not be harsh with them. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her, that he might sanctify her, having cleansed her by the washing of water with the word, so that he might present the church to himself in splendor, without spot or wrinkle or any such thing, that she might be holy and without blemish. In the same way husbands should love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. Wives, submit to your own husband as to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, his body, and himself is Savior. Now as the church submits to Christ, so also wives should submit in everything to their husbands. Husbands, love your wives, as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her, that he might sanctify her, having cleansed her by the washing of the water with the word. And I say to you, whoever divorces his wife except for sexual immorality and marries another commits adultery. Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their toil. For if they fall, one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him who is alone when he falls, and has not another to lift him up. Again, if two lie together, they keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? An excellent wife is the crown of her husband, but she who brings shame is like a rottenness in his bones. And I will betroth you to me forever. I will betroth you to me in righteousness and in justice, in steadfast love and in mercy. And because of the temptation to sexual immorality, each man should have his own wife, and each woman her own husband. The husband should give to his wife her conjugal rights, and likewise the wife to her husband. Wives, submit to your own husbands, as to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, his body, and is himself its Savior. But Ruth said, "Do not urge me to leave you, or return from following you. For where you go, I will go, and where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God my God. Where you die, I will die, and there will I be buried." For a married woman is bound by law to her husband while he lives, but if her husband dies, she is released from the law of marriage. But if they cannot exercise self-control, they should marry, for it is better to marry than to burn with passion.